Hello, good morning and welcome to St Moritz in Switzerland. We're high in the Swiss Alps in the stunning Engadin Valley, ready for the fifth race in the BMW IBSF four-man bobsleigh World Cup. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sliders Paradise. I'm Martin Haven. Alongside me at this beautiful location, John Morgan. John, not just visually spectacular, but a spectacular ride for the athletes too.
Everybody loves coming here, the birthplace of the sport of the sliding. Way back in the 1880s, we're on a very similar location to that first track, and it's the longest track on the planet, 1,722 meters. These start times and finish times are all related to only this year because the track's built differently every year. First curve, real different challenge for the drivers and teams, especially in four-man bobsledding. Down this long straightaway, they call it the wall because it keeps trying to push you to the left, especially right here. And you don't want to try and keep staring. Let it go. Let what the track gives you. Snake, right, left. Little two-corner combination sets you up for Sunny, a big sweeping right. Now we go to Nash and Dixon, named after the two British guys who won the Olympic gold medal in Innsbruck in '64. Now into Horseshoe, the most famous curve in the world, exit slingshot effect. Telephone, Shamrock, Devil's Dyke, Nameless. These are all names of curves that have been here for over 100 years. Bridge, still accelerating, getting close to 90-mile-an-hour speeds. Gunter Sachs right here. Now a long straightaway, you're still accelerating to Martineau, to Portago in the finish. And that is where they're gonna see, maybe today, 92 miles an hour on this unbelievable track in St Moritz.
1,700 meters of near silent bliss for the drivers, for the crew. Air temperature -9, it was -18 at about 8 o'clock this morning. Ice temperature -13, and that will rise during the course of the day. And the frostiness of the early morning track will disappear, and it will get faster and faster. Everybody warming up, getting ready to go. Johannes Lochner yesterday claimed his first ever two-man win. That is him in the hood, and he has won the last two four-man races. He's only competed 3 times this season in four-man. He's not been off the podium. He is perhaps the man to beat, although Francesco Frugic might have a word to say with that. Torsten Margis there with the headphones. His brakeman back in. And there's been a couple of changes in the driver lineup. Francesco Frugic with his regular crew, but Johannes Lochner will have a new brakeman. Well, here's our start draw. We have a big field of four-man sleds here. Jan Verber and Dominik Dvorak of the Czech Republic, the first two off. Kaylee Humphries and Beat Hefty will be sleds number 31 and 32. That's encouraging to see so many sleds from so many nations. Disappointing is that only 20 of the fastest, or only the 20 fastest, will go through into the second heat. So of our 32, 12 won't get another run down the best track on the planet. Oh, what a stunning location for sliding. We get the fifth race of the BMW IBSF four-man bobsleigh World Cup underway with the Czech Republic. Jan Verber, Jan Cresta, Dominik Suchy and Jakub Nosek. Nosek on the back of Verber's sled yesterday. 26, didn't get a second heat. 9th last year for Jan Verber, his career best in St Moritz in four-man.
Well, get in, get down before you get around this first curve. Let's see if they cause any kind of a... No, they say the four-mans, because a lot more weight, are more stable coming around there. We saw a lot of problems yesterday in women's bob and two-man bob getting around that first curve. These four-mans, big sport utility vehicles, tough to get them into skids, but the two-mans, a little bit more like a sports car, more opportunities to get them into a skid and some trouble. Little nip there on Dixon.
One of the things you notice about this track, John, is the noise or the lack of it. Even a four-man, you don't get that deep rumble off a concrete track that we will at anywhere else.
Let's see what kind of speed with Jan Verber. Pretty good four-man. 17th and 17th in the first two events he's been in this year, and the 148 kilometers an hour. Wow, that is fast for a bobsled. That's 92.1, which means we could see 93 miles an hour in the second heat here from some of these sleds.
We could be a lot higher than that as well. Well, the start record 5:04 set in January 2017.
That's going to fall today.
That was last weekend in the Europa Cup race, and Oskar Smelbardis also has the track record, and that will fall. Dominik Dvorak next up, 22-year-old, the younger of the two Czech pilots. He's had one previous four-man race here in the World Cup. He was 23rd, didn't make the cut.
Pretty good in the two-man start yesterday.
11th after the first heat, had a little bit of a flaky second run, slipped down to 18th, which will have disappointed him, but the potential this guy has definitely got is evident.
Besides the fact he's got a beautiful paint job with that two-man graphics company. There it is. So he's 100 slower. Let's see about the start speed on the left. But he had the better velocity. So his team got in, got the power step, settled down, got around the first curve. They had better velocity. They win that battle. Green numbers. That's what the velocity will do, but he taps on the exit of wall. Slight tap. See the line in horseshoe. Hits the lip. He won't be the last person to hit the lip. Speed 114 kilometers. That's 70.8 miles an hour. Lost now 100. Might be related to that hit. That's going to cost him there too. So these four-mans come a lot straighter than the two-mans, but when they do hit, oh, look at the speed. 150 kilometers, look at that, 93.5 kilometers. He's 400s down. Great speed in the bottom. He made two mistakes, one in horseshoe, one I think on the exit of Devil's Dyke. But he still flew 93.5 miles an hour. That's up on the roof. We saw the spray. Spectacular pictures from our team. Look at the four-man. Look at the heads. Are they lined up? The athletes can't just ride the sled like a sandbag. They got to feel themselves through the track, especially here.
Well, he made the heat yesterday. His teammate didn't. Simone Bertazzo of Italy did not make the second heat yesterday either. Very disappointing day for the Italian. He was out of the heat in 22nd place. World Cup best in four-man, 5th position here in 2015 in St Moritz, equals his best ever four-man performance.
5:18, should be the third best speed. Yes, as expected, 57.
Gets a little more of a getaway with the four-man sled, and he's certainly a very good driver.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see too many mistakes out of Simone Bertazzo, one of the best drivers in the field. I don't want to jinx him, but he usually knows how to get these things pointed pretty straight, and I'm sure we'll see great speeds at the bottom part of the track.
He finished 10th in last year's four-man race.
Nice low medium line. He exit 1400s back. That's achievable here on the bottom. And 111.8 speed. No speed.
69.5. Dvorak of the Czech Republic, 70.8.
He's coming back. 1000s. He gets to 150 kilometer speed. He's got a chance to get to the top of the leaderboard.
It's going to be close, not quite enough. 89.9 miles an hour. That's 4 miles an hour off.
Look at him come back, though. Look at that. So all three sleds within 400s of each other. Bertazzo in second.
Brakes, brakes, brakes. Off onto the end. And actually, right up to the tyres. That, however, might not matter.
Those tyres, something to do with the next guy coming up went into the tires in the first run.
Yeah.
Practice. Maybe sharpen them brakes up, guys. See the brakeman's mad at himself for not stopping it, but this is, how much is he going to take in the snake here? Watch the transition. You know, that little, see that little bump there, so he might have crossed over too early. A lot of friction there. probably going to hold up the next sled coming until they clear this.
Yeah, they're going to have to, because if one sled can go up there, then so can the next one.
Especially in practice, the other sled coming down went up and hit the tires. That's not good for the sled.
Not good for the runners, definitely. But again, might not be a germane issue, because these first three sleds on the frostiest track, the slowest track, if you're going off 31 and 32, you actually have a much better track to play with. USA's Cody Basque getting ready to go 11th in the World Cup standings at the moment. 12th, 10th. Well, that's his two-man results.
15, 4, 15, and 13.
Yeah.
Different crew than he had on there last week. Struggled yesterday with start times. 28th best start in the first run. See what he can do with these guys.
Didn't race here last year in four-man. Only one previous four-man showing, and he was 12th place in 2015.
Fourth best start, third best speed. Boy, he's going to have to find all he can with this Night Train 2 to have a chance to make the cut. There's a lot of really good competition here today.
And this is the sled that took the bronze medal here in 2013 with Stephen Holcomb.
No,
was that Night Train 1?
That's coming up. Justin
yes,
Olsen's driving that. This sled came out for the 14-15 season, or should be 13-14 season. There's another lipstick, and he hit before telephone. Really costly. Only 110 speed. He's going to really struggle to stay out of fourth place of four sleds. Oh, he's falling more.
Only his second race weekend on the track in four-man. Takes a lot of learning, especially when the track changes every season. Coming to the line, it's going to be the better part of half a second back, and it's unlikely that we'll see him in the second heat.
When you got the worst start time with the four, you know, and all three of those sleds are sleds that he had to beat.
Going early is so often an advantage. This is the one track where it can be a disadvantage. Well, Cody knows there were too many mistakes. It wasn't the ice, it wasn't the start, too many driving errors.
And on top of that, the start, I mean, here, hit the lip. Well, that ain't good. He had some problems in training at the finish, and also he crushed the lip. I think we're going to see him, if they show the exit here, I think he crushes the wall.
Yeah, because the back bunk then brought the nose up.
He crushes there, look, he crushes the wall there between into the entrance to telephone, so that's a lot to do while he was 3 kilometers down. So I think this is the last we'll see of him.
Yunjung Wong from Korea, the 31-year-old, was 20th last year, just made the field. 16th, though, in 2015.
Flat. 5'10". Best start, but the third best load velocity. You know, he's been a little perplexing. Now he's got 5th in one World Cup in North America, then 11th last weekend. And when he was 5th in Lake Placid, he was the leader at the end of the first run.
He had 2 very quick starts in yesterday's two-man race. Ended up only in 8th position.
Ooh, big skid there, and that's going to be very costly between Nash and Dixon. Keeps it off the lip, but he's now got good speed. 112.7, very good.
At 70 miles an hour, fastest speed there, 70.8.
Still only got 100th of a lead.
So it's more speed at the bottom here.
No mistakes here, and there's none.
Top speed, 92.4.
Right to the 100th.
400s in front. Top speed ended up at 92.7 at the bottom, but that's about a mile an hour slower than we've seen from the Czech Republic sleds. Dominik Dvorak, 93.5 miles an hour, the fastest man at the bottom, and wow, look at that. They're within an inch of going onto the ice. It might not seem like a lot, but it does do a lot of damage to the runners.
Watch this. This is Nash and Dixon. When you get your skid going like that with these four-mans and bang the back bunk like that, that's worth 20/100ths of a second.
Little delay at the top of the track as Yunjung Won's leading sled is retrieved. 32 in the first heat field, and a big crowd on hand in stunning conditions here in St Moritz. 26-year-old Johannes Lochner claimed his first ever two-man win yesterday in St Moritz. He has won the last two four-man races, and his only other four-man trip this season was bronze in Whistler. John Morgan, is he on form?
Well, I asked one of the German coaches that to confirm these are the two Walner sleds that he bought, 2 and 4. His sponsor bought them. And he said, I says, how come he's so good so quick? He went sled. Let's see if they get around. Ooh, a little hard bump. Oh, they still are settled. Track record. We expected that. But he's only got the second best velocity.
Well, that's because when the brakeman was getting up and getting back down in his seat again.
Yeah. Well, let's see how much that erases. This 7 should be 15 or 16 out here at the next clock.
Well, he's going to need to be a quarter of a second or more ahead of
24.
Young Jung-won.
Well, I guess it didn't affect him too much. Brand new Walner sled. This guy won the last 2 events in four-man bobsledding.
In fact, he's won the last 2 for me. He's actually won the last 2 races we've watched, because he won the 4-man last week and the 2-man this week.
I asked him if he could do tomorrow. Yesterday when I interviewed him, and he looked at me and he said, why not? So, a little cockiness from the young pilot from Bavaria.
4 tenths ahead. Speed, got speed. He's been slower than Dvorak all the way down, but he has a big lead at the end.
Only the
new
third
track
speed.
record.
6 tenths.
1:04.76. The old track record was 1:05.0. So he's a quarter second inside in the first heat, and he's only the 6th sled down. Now, if he was the 26th sled down, you could probably add another 2 tenths to that lead.
Well, the start. Let's see what happens to the number 2 guy. He's not comfortable getting in, okay? He's trying to wait for the guys to get down. He gets down, and then watch him come back up. Oh, I'm not comfortable here. Great concept to come back. I've never seen somebody adjust like that. And
Matthias Kargehuber, he's a new man in the crew this weekend.
There's Matthias Hofter telling me dove off one corner too quick. I think that might have been describing Snake.
33-year-old Alexander Kasyanov with Alexei Pushkarev in the medals yesterday. Early on, 9th place finish. 8th here last year and in 2014.
Start, that's about right for them. Let's see the load. Second best start, second best load, 57.8. Exact same as the Germans. Mr. Lochner team. And now let's see what one of the best drivers on the planet can do. Have a really good two-man result yesterday. Look how clean he was through Snake. 1100s back. If he keeps it within 1500s and accelerates through Horseshoe with good speed, he's got a chance on the bottom.
Now the Russians also have Valner sleds, so they should be at a speed disadvantage.
Here he comes. Here he comes. Speed 113. Nobody's got that type of speed.
With 70.3, but 70.8 there is still the fastest speed. Dvorak still quickest. 93.5 is top speed at the bottom. He's closing.
I don't know.
91.1. How far to the line?
200s. Third best speed. 149.1.
92.6 miles an hour was the top speed there.
And he got beat by 600s at the start, only 2 at the bottom. So we have a race, because you know these guys are going early. There's a couple top dogs that are coming later, including Rico Peter comes 14th. Andrianov is the other Russian. Kieber Manis, Mel Bardis.
They're in the 18-22
position.
Yeah.
The sun's going to warm up. Hefty comes last.
Yeah. But what about Benny Meyer of Austria? Last year, 2nd position in the 4-man race. European Championship silver medal for him, his career high in a 4-man.
And last weekend in Wittenberg, he captured a 3rd place again in the European Championships.
Good race yesterday as well. 7th in the 2-man.
So they should be 505, 5'6". Good loading team though. Nice exit, 5. Woo, I'm surprised at that. Wow. Very surprised at that start time.
Well, let's see what he can produce. Nice straight run down these long straights.
He's going to need it. They might have had a conservative strategy to push, get in the sled quickly, because their team needs a better start time than that.
Everybody saw what happened to Rico Peter's team when they got out of the drive lines yesterday in the second load, broadside across the track. And if there's one thing you've got to avoid in the first heat, it's mistakes.
111 or 12 speed at least. 112 speed. Oh, late there though.
Brings the gap back down. He was 6th at the start. He's now in 3rd place on the splits behind Lochner and Kasyanov.
Quarter second back. He might get into the teens, but he's going to need that 150 speed.
70 miles an hour, a little slower than the last two. 92.3.
Top 3.
Good speed and 3rd at the line.
Second best speed in the bottom. Okay. Start time there, boys. Manfred and Franz Josef, the start time hurt him.
But if they make the second heat now, that's the crucial part. No point having a fancy down start time, getting it wrong in the first corner, and then watching everybody in heat.
They're quarter second back, and that was relative to the start. They lost by 13 hundredths to Lochner at the start. They lost to the Russians by 7. And last week, they were way ahead of the Russians at the start. Look at this. The high, dangerous line. And then the crossover, look at the rudder tips, look at the back end here, look at the guys as they move through telephone.
There's Benny Meyer. Getting ready for the start, 36-year-old Stephen Holcomb for the USA. Best result in four-man in St Moritz, his only medal, bronze in the World Championships in 2013. Last year he was 15th, year before 14th place. Brand new BMW sled in the four-man this season. First time ever with it in St Moritz.
See if they get down cleanly. Oh, we got problems. We got problems. And boy, the 14 start time. Let's see the speed, the worst speed of the 7 of 8 sleds.
James Reed and Sam McGuffey struggling to get their legs into the sled there. And you run it so far down towards that first little kink in St Moritz to get the speed into the four-man.
Well, we know what he can do driving the sled, but when you have such a deficiency, then a mistake cost you any kind of velocity at the start, he's going to have to be magical on the bottom like he was yesterday in the two-man.
Yes, he's coming back. From 7th in the first heat, took the bronze medal, up to 4th.
Touch there, exit of Devil's Dyke.
Gap's coming down, he's closing, he's up to 3rd, chasing Kasyanov and Lochner the leader. Holcomb in fine driving form. The start might have not been great, but this will be 3rd place at the line and 2 tenths behind.
Second best speed. Boy, it's amazing that he loses by 11 hundredths to Lochner and only loses by 22 at the bottom.
Should be 33 and change on this track. Well,
and I'm sure they're going to talk about what happened there.
Yeah, Holke will have felt all that movement behind him.
I'm sure he got kicked in the back.
Sure he did, as he got spiked. Now it looks like his race suit's in one piece. Boy, those skilled hands, those reflexes. Let's watch now. Okay, so
number 3. Oh, he can get his foot in.
I think that's Sam McGuffey at 3. Gets hooked up on the edge of the sled. Actually on the handle, and then James Reed at 2 has to get back up to allow McGuffey's legs in, and then Reed can settle himself back down.
The two-man would be skidding.
Francesco Friedrich for Germany, 4th last year, 2nd in 2015 in four-man.
Oh, the brakeman ran a long ways there.
Oh, and they're still
track record at the start.
501.
Let's watch the speed velocity, though. Second best velocity, even though they had the best speed. The brakeman ran a long ways, and they had a big hit in that first curve. Took a little energy away.
Wow. I don't think we've seen so many misloads from start.
Well, it's a different, that first curve comes actually quicker than any place on any track on the planet.
Yeah.
Which means these guys are used to running 22 steps. Maybe they're running 18 steps now. And you have to, jump and get in with a different, synchronized plan than you do normally. Speed, 114. No one's seen the 114. Few have seen 113. So I think Mr. Friedrich, who got beat yesterday for the first time in two-man, might be taking out a little vengeance of the field here.
Took his first 2-mile World Championship here in 2013.
This is going to be close. Oh, that's going to cost him.
But he's 1100s up and at the line, 300s between him and Lochner. Track record.
Top 3 sleds separated by 500s. And we're not done yet. Before we're done, we're going to have like 9 sleds within 1000s.
We're barely started. We've got only another 22 to come.
And there's going to be some more people challenging for the top of the leaderboard. Okay, watch how long these guys run. The brakeman.
Candy Bauer, Martin Grottkop at 3.
In, down. Watch how hard they hit here.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, the brakeman right here.
Yeah,
Look how hard. Look at that brakeman popped up in the air.
Well, Torsten marks it back. Martin Grottkop at 3 clearly wasn't settled.
Number 2 guy had his helmet up. He didn't get settled until he got way down into the wall.
10 down of our 32 in the first heat here, and look how tight it is. Stephen Holcomb in 4th, but everybody else vying for the lead. 29-year-old Russian Alexei Stulnev, 16th here last year. He's only had 2 4-man races in St Moritz, 13th in 2015.
Yeah, they're going to get struggle at the start.
Nice load, though.
Yeah, real quick.
507.
Speed. 7th best speed, though. Gets real low. Well, we can see some people bouncing around back there.
He was actually tucking his head on. These straights are so long. If it's straight and it feels straight, get your head down.
Yeah. He had a good finish last week at Altenburg. 5th in the 4-man, 4th in the 2-man. His best weekend in the history of the sport for him.
And people at home might be thinking, what's the point in ducking your head even for a second? You might win or lose here by 100.
His top 3 sleds are separated by 500s. If this kid gets 112 speed, that's not enough. I was going to say, if he gets 113 speed, he'll have a chance to get in the top 3.
Kelly Humphries got beaten in yesterday's women's race by 100th, and we reckon that might be 30 centimetres, around a foot, after 1,700 metres of ice. 4th place, 1,500s behind.
Pretty good.
700s behind at the line. Top 4 covered by 700s.
Oh, do we have a sled race here?
So, Valner, BMW Valner. Those are our top 6 sleds.
I think I'd be ready to buy some stock in Valner right now.
Wow. And again, the starts so close.
Watch him hit here to the left, right to the left of our screen.
Big
He hits
skid.
before the takeout. See the crystals come up? That cost him a 100th, and 100s are valuable. 100s are valuable.
Yeah, he could have been ahead of Kazyanov, but for that little touch and skid. Justin Cripps, Cam Stones, Jesse Lumsden-Bencote will enduring a miserable season so far in Europe. Wretched. And his St Moritz form isn't much better.
He drove well yesterday, like he drove well last week 2 weeks ago in Altenburg. Last week he got screwed by the weather in Winterberg, and he just is in a slump.
Yesterday,
good start. Look at the start. But look at this.
Yeah.
The 3rd best start, but the 9th best speed. They came around that first curve and they drifted right away to the left before that 110-meter climb.
well, here's his form in the last 4 years. 11th last year, 21st in 2015, missed the cut. 12th the year before, missed the cut in the World Championships in 2013.
Yeah, this is way too talented a driver. And they all switched equipment. They went from Eurotech. Are these Walders? No, these are BTCs, right?
Yeah, I think so.
No speed. The only person with worse speed than that, I think, is Cody Bescu, the U.S.
Well, the lines aren't dreadful. Not many touches. He's 4 tenths back in 7th place, ahead of Yun Cheng Wan. Yun Cheng Wan, a 2 points leader.
Wow. That's a hard hit. 7th.
Well, 4 tenths back off the leader. That should see him into the field for the second
He's
heat.
no doubt into the field. I think both Czech sleds, Bertazzo and Bascu, I think are going to struggle to make the field.
Much better morning at the office. There's Jesse Lumsden sitting on the side of the sled.
Now watch Snake now. These crystals pop up on our screen on the takedown here. Watch, come on your screen right here on the right. Look, he got in there late, and then look, crossed over.
Yeah.
But if he came up, he hit the takedown in the first part of the Snake too early.
Having to steer hard to get the line he wanted, but Justin Kripps might be bouncing back. Nico Walter, Germany, eased out of the medals by Stephen Holcomb, preventing a German clean sweep. He was in 4th place. And this is an FES sled. So this is the German-built FES kit. His teammates both with Valna sleds that they and their sponsors have gone out and bought independently.
Ooh, looked like a little nose skid there. 5'11", 10th start, 12th velocity.
5th place last year in the 4-man race, 4th in 2015, so he's got real potential.
Well, there's no doubt he can drive. This former luge athlete who knows a lot of the tracks, every track around the world except for this one. I think he's probably was here at the Luge World Championships. I think we're here in 2009 or 10.
Well, I'm not sure he was sliding luge at that stage, but he's had 2 4-man races here.
20 packs, not bad. Speed, way off. He's down there, I would say, in the 8th or 9th with the speed. But he's hanging in there.
Hanging in, quarter of a second behind. Now let's see what speed the FES sled gets compared to the Valnas. Top speed 93.5, still from Dominic Dvorak. And he gets 91.9 into
He's
4th
only
place.
800s back.
Wow, top 5 covered by 800s. This is going to be an insane race. How many more can we rack in there? Oops. Well, opposite to the Italians, didn't feather the brakes quite early enough there on the back, Philip Verbeto. Marco Hubermecker, Alexander Rödinger, Philip Verbeto, the crew. Didn't get right up into the frost in Horseshoe, and that helps. Still very frosty up at the top of the track. And not a bad transition either into Telephone. Good looking lines again from Nico Walter. And the gaps are so tiny, he's put himself in with a real shot again. 5th and 4th, his 2 previous seasons. Rico Peter yesterday, a disastrous second heat. He was in contention for the medals, and just it all fell away, slumped down to
the crowd.
14th place.
6th best start, so top 4 or 5 load. 3rd best load. Not the disaster that he had yesterday when he wanted the conservative start in the second heat. And his coach, his start coach said, no, let the brakeman run one more step. One more step was ended up in a disaster. He was sideways in and out of the first curve. Finished in 15th. You can see the frustration on him when he got out of the sled.
In our hotel last night, Alex Baumann, the brakeman, was having dinner on his own, alone with his thoughts. Well, he's in the sleds
excellent. Only other sled to have 114 speed.
700s, he's coming, he's changing for the lead.
He's going a little bit later. Top speed coming up here. He's got it. Top speed. This will be the leader.
In the lead, Rico Peter at the line for Switzerland. Yes, by a big margin.
Listen to the crowd. Well, the Swiss have something to be happy about. Yesterday might be the worst results for Switzerland in the race on St Moritz that I've ever seen. And not only in men, but women. And Rico, I'm sure that takes a lot off your shoulders. Remember last week he couldn't almost qualify for the second run. He was 20th at the end of the first run. Look at the heads all lined up and the exit. Now watch the way they enter Telephone. This is that slingshot effect I talk about on the bottom part of the track. Look how early he is in the transition, and that's where you just rock it to the bottom. Second best speed, best time on the bottom.
35-year-old British driver Lamin Dean, 21st last year, 23rd the year before, and in the Worlds in 2013.
Four great athletes here, but they have not come together so far yet as a team. I keep expecting it.
I got a little hicked up at the start, a 5:10 getaway.
7th best, let's see the load, 11th best load. They still have not figured out how to come together as a team at the start.
Oberengadin has never made a second heat here at the top tier in 4-man bobsled.
Well, with that start, the equipment he's got, the experience he's got, I would be very surprised if he's not in the top 10, top 12 here.
2001 Dresden chassis with a new Singer cowl.
I think they might be going out and trying to get a welder too.
Got to find 100,000
euro. Low, really low there.
7th place, 1400s behind.
Speed, better than average. Tap. Lada. Tree curve.
Top 10 run here should see him into the second heat. 7th place ahead of Stephen Holcomb of the USA. This is his best drive ever in St Moritz.
In the training, he crashed there. So there's a visor comes off of somebody.
Yep.
5th best speed. He crashed there in the finish curve. Really had 2 crashes this week in training. Lochner, who won the race yesterday, and then Olympia in the finish on the final training day.
It was Olympia that came off.
That's dangerous for the number 2 guy to get out when that sled's still moving like that.
That's Mark Lewis Francis. He's a big unit. He'll hold the sled. Wow.
Lyman, you better run back down there.
Big skid here off Martineau.
And this is where he crashed in training. Watch the visor come off here. Comes around the finish curve. Oh, he just turned his head a little bit. Looks like 2 visors come out.
Yeah, it's got a layer inside to stop it misting up. So they'll need to go and fetch that.
Reloaded, my visor went.
And if he did that during the coming down the track, he might have been disqualified.
Rico Peter leads. Germans and Russians racked up behind him. And here comes our next Russian, 29-year-old Maxim Andrianov. First ever 4-man World Cup race here in St Moritz.
Boy, the brakeman's still getting settled there. Pretty good, 7th best start. Velocity, 14th. Brakeman was moving as he got. His shoulders weren't in as he got around that first curve.
Team Maxim Andrianov on the track. Team Maxim Andrianov.
Russian sleds have been doing great on the bottom part of the track on every place, but here we saw some semblance of some good speeds yesterday. And Kazanov, his teammates in 4th, his other teammates still makes him 5th. 17 back. If he gets 112.7, yeah, that's decent. This is probably a top 10.
Well, like yesterday's 2-man race, we've got a decent gap 1st to 2nd, and then nothing from 2nd to about 7th place.
Holding in there at 7th. What kind of speed can he get here?
Up to 6, 2/10 behind. This is going to put him ahead of Nico Walter of Germany, unless he has a mistake.
4th best speed at the bottom. 3rd
at the line.
Both Russian sleds.
Best Russian, Maxim Andrianov, his first 4-man race here.
Whoa, they're going to be happy with that.
How much is the track speeding up?
Yes, that's the point.
Well, no question, good drive, but, you know, if it's giving a few hundreds of polish with every sled.
And it's getting warmer.
Yep.
We've seen this before in St Moritz.
That's why Andre Langer, Christoph Langen used to go as Germany 3, down in the 20s and 30s.
Watch out for the Springer here if he gets a good start. Now look at his brace on his right knee. Still suffering. I say he's 80% at the best.
Tim Randall, Josh Kirkpatrick, Neville right behind him, the 32-year-old, only 26th last year, but he's dragged himself out of the slump this season.
See the sun on his eyes. That's what's happening. The sun's coming up high enough to get on the track. That sun's warming up the ice. Warming up the ice reduces the friction.
Bronze medalist in December in Lake Placid. Get my words out.
Gonna need a top 5 start here.
How fired up are they?
Okay, cohesiveness. In, down, around the first curve, be settled.
5:10 will be good enough. 5:06, what a big effort.
Push bar, he's got to wait. There
we go.
Look how patient he was there. If he put the push bar down immediately, he would have hit the top of the ice. He waited perfectly. Now it's in his hands. But his teammates...
Wow, they gave him a shot, didn't they?
Yeah, they gave him a shot. I didn't see the speed.
5:06, it was about 7th fastest.
7th fastest load. That's pretty good. Now, Springer yesterday had a great 2-man run. He was really happy with it. Nowhere near the medals, but
Nice exit.
Speed.
700 to
113.
one.
This is good. This is a good speed.
He's going to be right in that
He's gonna
melting
be in
pot for
that.
silver.
10, he lost a little bit back, but this is still top 5 or 6. He gets to 149 kilometers.
Third place on the split times for Chris Spring. At the line, where's he going to end up? Second place!
Oh, boy, the Canadians have something to be happy about.
Wow, look at the smile on Lyndon Rush's face. This is going to get more of a cliffhanger because people who had a really good top 3 or 4 run are now down in 7th or 8th. We've still got another 16 sleds to come.
Start. Get in, get down. We saw it yesterday, the 2-man cat-like movements. This was a pretty good load. Number 2 waiting for the third guy to get in. Look at him get around. Now watch the push bar here. Ooh, that's a big skid we didn't see.
He might have had the
wait.
lead.
He's wiping. Wait. Let me get over here.
Come
away from the wall.
away.
There. How many inches did that push bar miss the block?
That is a thinking driver.
And he got second.
Oscar's Kibermanis up next. What a day he had yesterday. Kibermanis is suddenly really exploding with form.
3 different Latvian drivers in the last 5 years have won races on this track. Look at his start record. Speed, though.
Ties the start record.
Only the second best velocity, but still. Can we see anybody bounce around? We can see some shoulders back there from the number 2 guy.
Don't forget how high our camera is there above wall.
I'm very critical about the aerodynamics, but you know that. Good snake. Ooh. He's going to need 113 speed, though, to maintain this on the bottom. Nice. 18 speed in the left. 114.7. Best speed. Oh, I think we're going to have another leader here.
Wow. Just building the lead all the way down.
Oh, only 15 hundredths ahead. Should have been more than that, so it might come back to us.
Little touch into Sachs. Nice and straight.
Good speed, right to the 100th, either way.
Could hold the lead. Oh, I don't know. Might not be enough. It is enough. Wow.
We got a race here, boy. We're not done. There's going to be someone else coming down here who's going to take the lead.
There's going to be a lot of someone else's. This is freaky stuff. Anybody who went early, at the bottom of our sheet, 15, 16, 17, 18s are the first 4 sleds.
Yeah, well, we got 2 more guys here from Latvia coming down that could challenge for sure. Hefty, I don't think so. Start.
Yeah.
This, I tell you, this young Kibermanis is just a big future for Latvia. I've been saying for 3 years. This year he came out, he's coming out with 2 bronze medals already in 2-man.
Third of our Canadian sleds is Nick Polignato. First 4-man race here for him as a driver. Dan Sunderland, Derek Plug, Keenan McDougall. These guys had a big crash just before Christmas. Bouncing back.
2 in the
Two they did, yes.
Both
2.
heats. Not a bad start. 8th best start, speed. 13th best speed. Low. Boy, you can see a lot of shoulders back there, especially deep in the sled. And the guy in the back should be the lowest guy in the sled, because that's where all the dirty air is. That's where the air comes out. They call it the dirty air, the same they do in auto racing, where the air exits the back of the vehicle.
8th at the start, 11th position for Nick Polignato.
Wrong side of Dixon, too much pressure there.
Little tap down to Horseshoe.
37 back, 111, 112 speeds, decent.
Good clean exit. He needs to hang on in the teens, early teens, any further down. 11th place, ahead of teammate Justin Cripps, ahead of Lamindine of Great Britain, chasing Stephen Holcomb. 12th position, this is good enough for a second heat, surely. And it's going to put Cody Bascu, Dominic Dvorak in trouble, 13th, yes.
Yeah, no, right now, Bascu, Dvorak, Batazzo, and Verba are all, I think, going to be gone.
Polignato 13th, Justin Cripps 14th, probably should get through. But right now, the way this track is speeding up, I don't think anything is guaranteed. We could see some real minnows in the fish tank.
That lady is here, though. This was very costly. This is now before Gunter Sachs. And he's still late, still drifting. That was up in Tree and Bridge.
Bridge to Leap, yeah.
Yeah, Bridge to Leap. And then he's still skidding around. So he had about a 100-meter problem on the track. It cost him.
Next up, our 20th sled, Frenchman Loic Costege.
They're not in it settled here. They're still not settled. Push bar, there's 20th best speed at the 100-meter mark. And that push bar on the right still got its own attitude to stay out.
Came here last week to race Europa Cup rather than going to Winterberg in the World Cup. In fact, this is his first World Cup race since December in Lake Placid.
Good driver. Driving a Majon sled. Bruno Majon looking for battle. Oh, big hit in the lip. And he hit late there.
He was up to 9th place.
Only 110 speed. That's about the third worst speed. And that's because of that shot lip.
Drops to 10th on the splits. Can he hang on in the teens?
He's going to qualify here.
Could well make it.
Good lines.
Top 10 run from Loic Costege, the Frenchman, despite rattling the woodwork and terrifying the crew in Horseshoe. He is 10th ahead of Holcomb.
Even with the 19th best speed at the bottom, how's that?
He had good speed early on. Got himself off a 16th start into 10th place. Well, do you know what? 10th now, that's not bad. You're in the second heat, you'd think, but bang!
That's a hard hit.
And then the back hits, and that pushes the nose up.
Now watch it come out to the right side of our screen. He's going to hit the wall here, rip out a bunch of ice.
Well, that's because he had to haul it off because the nose was going back up to Horseshoe. He had to haul it off to avoid the crash.
That was a loose run.
20 down of our 32 sleds. Oskars Kiebermanis of Latvia leads Rika Peter. 32 sleds in the field, 12 left in this first heat, and all of them have to bump somebody else out to get into the second heat.
Well, this U.S. team, but this is the night train that won the bronze medal at the World Championships here in 2013. And decent start, but that excellent, look at that. 6th best start, 17th best velocity.
Team Justin Olsen.
Well, let's see what Justin Olsen can produce. His first 4-man World Cup race in St Moritz.
That skid out of curve 1 was tough.
Cody Bascu, his teammate, is in 20th place. One or the other will make the second heat at the end of this run. Unless there's a dead heat, it won't be both. 10th on the splits.
In 39.66.
Little tap, 112.3. He was late. Gunter Sachs.
But has it cost him speed?
Devil's Dyke, he was late in, but he's hanging in there.
Little noisy taps. 10th place on the split times. This could be another top 10 run. Wide eyes from Justin Olsen. He could be in the top 10. He is at the moment.
At the bottom. Oh, watch out for that tap there.
10th at the line. 2 spots ahead of Stephen Holcomb. But he went 13, 12 places ahead of after Stephen Holcomb.
But he also beat Holcomb by 700s at the start. But the team didn't get around that first curve.
Well, right now he's in. And
this tap, watch this in Gunter. This is in Devil's Dyke. He got in there late, and watch what happens here. You think no one's coming off that curve that late, and he got away with it. He crossed over, got on the take-on okay, and he doesn't have a lot of 4-man trips.
No. First 4-man race, he's in. Cody Bascu is out. On the bubble now is Dominik Dvorak of the Czech Republic, and he has got to fear for his potential to be in the race with Oskars Melbardis. Melbardis had a great week here last week in 2-man and 4-man in St Moritz doing the Europa Cup. He's seen his start and track record broken multiple times this morning.
Watch out here. Okay, watch the low though. 3rd best start. 16th best low. Now that's... They look like they got around there pretty good.
Track's warming up. I wonder if it's just getting a little slower around that first corner because the runners are getting more grip.
Maybe.
You know, weird things happen to this track as the temperature of the air rises.
Well, all I know is this. If he gets 113 or better speed at the bottom of the exit of Horseshoe, he's a good chance of being the leader.
4th place on the splits off a 3rd best start.
Low there. 113 is the magic number.
He's won 2 of the last 3 years here, beaten by Max Arndt.
And he's only 80% coming off back surgery. Down to 8. Down to 8. This is where the track speeds up right here.
Going to have a Latvian 1-2 at the end of this run. Oscar's Kiebermanis our leader.
Down to 2. He might be the leader.
Oscar's Melbardis chasing. Are they going to tie?
146 kilometers.
Oh,
A tie for second with Peter.
Wow.
Look at this. We have 3 sleds separated by 100th of a second. Is this fun?
We thought it was tight early on.
We're not done yet. We still have somebody. We have another Latvian coming up next that could make some noise.
Well, from Chris Spring in 4th down to Nico Walter in 10th, that's another 10th of a second. So 7 sleds in a 10th, top 3 in 100th.
This little mistake here cost him the lead.
Yep.
See, not a little skid there on the exit of Gunter Sachs in the speed trap part of the straightaway.
You can't get down here clean. It's the fewest mistakes that'll win. Latvia 1-2. Where is Uga Salims going to end up?
Watch out for this guy.
My goodness.
Okay, if I'm their push coach, get down around that first curve. Settle.
They know they're fast enough. Don't run too long.
They
Gets away with it.
pretty good.
5:05.
See what their start speed 12.
Well, better than
Oh, that was a mistake there on the entrance to the wall section of the track. That's going to cost him dearly.
A little busy with the hands. The runners aren't moving much, but see the sled just tracking left and right.
Back end fell off of the second snake. See how much that cost him? He shouldn't have been down there. 2100s back with that start. He's going to need 112 at least. He's got a skid going into the Horseshoe. 3,400, no speed, 111.7. Yeah, so he made some mistakes up top.
Ooh, dropping into the danger zone. He's 14th at the moment.
Yeah.
Anything below 15th, and you're likely not to get a second hit.
I think you're okay at 15th. For what I see
I don't know. You only need
17th now. Wow.
You only need the odd wild run from a Matthias Lutti or someone, and you're out. 17th, he's in the danger zone. And we've lost Simone Batazzo. Batazzo is out, Dvorak is out, Cody Bascu is out. Those are the 3 that have got the chop already. On the bubble, Jan Verber, the first man out of the start shed. Bottom 5 in the first 20 sleds were the first 5 out of the shed.
Cripps. Look at these pictures here. Does he hit the lip? Yeah.
Yep.
The back end too also.
No, so he's just got the front end steering.
Now look at the driver. Look where he's looking. Yeah. Look at his eyes here. Look at the guy in the back. There's too much movement back there.
I'm not surprised they're hanging upside down.
The G-forces back there.
Yeah.
I've heard those numbers. It's incredible.
It is. Ivo de Bruin for the Netherlands. Can he make the second cut here? Coaching with Tom Delahunty this last couple of weekends. 5:27 getaway. Well, their advantage here compared to any other track is that the later you go, the better the ice, the more of a lifeline you get. If he can produce a clean drive here,
he should make it. But he's way back. He's 24th start, now he's 24th still. So, ooh, skid there. He's going to have all he can do to get 110.5 speed here.
Still 24th on the split, 7/10 back.
No speeds at all are being generated off the sled, so his telemetry is not installed properly by the team.
Yeah, you can see it hasn't got the little clear visor at the front that they all have. 23rd place, he's not going to make the second heat, I'm afraid.
Ooh, big hit.
He won't be alone, he'll be in some good company.
20th.
Oh my goodness, how did he do that? Well, unlikely he's going to stay in. He bumps Jan Verber. No, he ties Jan Verber. So we've got 21 sleds at the moment in the top 20. Stay on the ice. Ooh, who just ran out there. But again, he and Werber may not make it. Rudy Rinaldi of Monaco might get in. Matthias Lüthi of Poland. Maybe even Bert Hefty of Switzerland. But
little skid here.
Yeah.
This means he's got to steer hard in that finish curve.
Otherwise, he would have bumped Jan Werber.
Yeah, that cost him 500s.
There he is at the back of the shot, not looking overjoyed. Ollie Biddulph from Great Britain, with Greg Hackett, Andy Matthews, and Sam Blanchet on the back.
They get a top 6-7 start here. These guys could challenge. Ollie's been a little bit better competitor this year than we've seen him the last 2 weeks.
Still new to four-man at World Cup level, Ollie Biddulph. Teammate Lamindine is in 14th.
Watch out, there's nobody down yet. And the push bar, don't put the push bar down yet, boys. What, get it to side, no. I don't even know if they know it's out.
I don't think they do.
I get the photographers ready to get off the landing areas. That's going to hit.
Hello, Ivo De Bruyne.
No, it's still out.
Oh, it's still out. Ollie Biddulph 13th at the start.
It's in now.
5:10, same start as Lamindine's crew. But 24th place, horrible lows,
And then
means they
between
lost
Nash
all
and
that
Dixon, their
speed.
countrymen made.
Oh,
This is not going to make the cut unless he finds some afterburners. But trouble in the first 60 meters and never recovered. Oh, the head came up from the brakeman there. I don't know if he knew where he was on the track.
yeah, wasn't sure where he was. 24th place. Disappointing run for Ollie Biddulph. Uncomfortable load. Brakes, brakes, brakes. Brakes.
They show us that up there on the exit of the entrance to Gunner Sachs. Brakeman's head came up, which everybody's used to going 56, 55 seconds on most of these tracks. Here we're doing 105s.
All
This
struggling
is just
to get
struggle
in.
here.
Yeah, that's Greg Hackett, I think, at 2. Andy Matthews
They're still
at
not
3.
settled. They're still moving around in there.
Yeah.
And then here in the horseshoe, okay, let's get up and see what it's like up there. And he didn't come off that lip immediately. Then he hits between the crossover.
Look at the brakeman.
Him and Cody Basque are the only two to do that.
Brakeman's about 3 or 4 inches out of the seat there, and that's a lot of muscle to move. Markus Treichel of Austria. Now, what can he do? He has this ability occasionally to really produce a smoking run. Big skid. 5:17 start.
24th velocity.
Jan Werber, Ivo De Bruyne, 20th place at the moment. They're on the bubble. At the moment, it's not about where the leaders are, where Oscar Kiebermanis is. It's about where you are relative to the second half of the top 20. And at the moment, he's 22nd.
Pretty good lines. 111 speed to give him a chance.
Benny Meyer, his teammate, in 15th place at the moment.
Ooh, late 111 speed. He's got the speed. A little late off the Gunter set or the Devil's Dyke. 55 back. He's 19th. Speed. It's pretty good lines. Still holding on at 19th.
17th, he's in the race. Teammate Benny Meyer is 15th. 700s between them, 500s between them. That's close.
So Kim Jin-won is on the bubble now. The Koreans.
He bumps 2, doesn't he? Because we had a tie for 20th. So Jan Werber and Ivo De Bruyne both out in one fell swoop. Yoon Jung-won, our 2-man World Cup points leader, on the bubble in the 4-man race. We have had 26 sleds down. Oscar Kiebermanis leads Oscar
that leaderboard.
Wow.
100 separating the top 3 sleds. If I were you all watching this, you better stay around for the second heat.
30th anniversary of the Monaco Bobsleigh Federation. Can Rudy Rinaldi make this a big day for his
World Cup
Commander-in-Chief,
debut?
Prince Albert?
This is his first time ever at World Cup 4-man bobsled. Get in, get down, guys, quickly. No mistakes up here, like we saw the British. That was a pretty good load. 11th, look at that, the 11th best start, pretty decent. 24th best velocity though. We've had a lot of velocity issues with the last 12, 14 sleds, and I think you're right. Something must be going on up there with around that first curve. He's 111 speed in the exit of horseshoe, put him in the field.
19th at the moment, off an 11th fastest start, so he needs to hang on to this. 17th place, he's coming back.
Oh, tap. Out of
Okay, we'll give him that.
Doubles dike, see what he does in bridge, tree.
12th place, this is a really good run shaping up now. Here we go. First ever four-man race in St Moritz, 30th anniversary of the Monaco Federation.
He's moving to 11th
going to be a top 10 run.
Wow, these guys are going to go crazy at the top.
These are the wild cards. These are the ones you've got to worry about when you're early in. Wow.
You think those Monaco guys up there, Prince Albert and team, are enjoying this?
I hope they're here for the first run. They might not have been.
They told me they were going to be here for the first run.
Wow, it's a big day for Rudy Rinaldi, big day for Monaco.
First ever World Cup four-man race.
What a start to his weekend's four-man competition.
Start, oh, that's dangerous. Picking the sled up and running with it, putting all the pressure on the nose. That might have had something to do with their velocity, because good load. They were pretty good around that first
Luckily,
curve.
the brakeman knew what was going on, got it back down in those grooves, and Rudy Rinaldi 11th. So here we go. Wild cards can play a part now. Thomas Heibel of Norway, first four-man race of the season. First time we've seen him in a four-man since the Worlds in Winterberg 2 years ago.
No, they were around last year in Koenigsegg.
Were they? Okay.
Now Heibel got his brother on the team here, number 2. And their father was a famous German bobsledder way back in the 60s and 70s. So they were here last week. You know, the start time, well, last in the field.
Justin Cripps is on the bubble at the moment. Yun Jong-won is out of the race.
I think he's safe here. But there's a couple more hefties coming up yet, so I think Justin Cripps, he might not make the heat. Oh my, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, Hefty didn't come close to making the two-man race yesterday. That was unbelievable. Nice looking run so far from the Norwegian, but not enough speed. Oh, and there you go.
Parked it.
Whatever the Norwegian first, sorry about that, is, that was the curse of the commentator. Still not bad looking lines. One late flop. Little tap. And if you didn't have a clock, you wouldn't know whether he was fast or slow. 28th place at the line behind Cody Basque of the USA.
Well, you know, nice to see the Norwegians out here. Hope they get some more support. Need some of the Scandinavian athletes, Bob, Skeleton. And the Paralympic competition up there in Lillehammer last week. I think it concluded yesterday. Parabob, excuse me. Look at how late he was. That's out of, I think, Nameless.
Yeah.
And then the straightaway here, look, that was pretty good.
So the Norwegians don't make the cut. What about Dorin Grigore of Romania? Just out of the field yesterday. 28th in the World Cup rankings. Did make the cut. 20th in Altenburg. Didn't make it in Winterberg. Ooh, not the most cohesive of starts. Let's see what they can produce.
Look at the way they waited for each other. 25th.
5:18, that gives them a shot.
26 speed. Real square cowl, and you can see all the shoulders back there. Look, you can see the fourth guy, you can really see very obvious.
Look how much room in that cowl. It's wider, almost vertical, whereas the BMW comes up in a big arc, so narrow.
Almost looks like a passenger sled, so wide.
Well, they always say with the older, especially the Dresden sleds like this, you need to get your shoulders out to touch the side so that it stops too much turbulence.
111 speed's pretty good though.
27th place.
He might eat into this. 25th, he's coming. Justin Cripps holding his breath.
Yeah, Cripps in 20th, Ugi Salams in 19th. 26th position, not going to be enough, I'm afraid, for Dorin Grigoriev of Romania. And as in the two-man race, doesn't quite have enough to get into the second heat.
Worst speed of anybody so far. Nope, the Heiber was from Norway.
We're talking about 90 miles an hour and sheet ice not being quick enough.
It's a little late there. The crossover, then he hits in the take-on. That causes you to go to the middle of the curve. More steering.
There's Dorin joining the fans trackside. What about Matthias Luthi? What can the pole produce?
He did good yesterday.
Yes, I think he's got a chance to upset the apple cart a little. Lots of support back home, I'm sure, for the Polish crew.
Driving an old Dutch sled.
They need a start in the mid-teens and a clean run. The track will give them the time if they can get it. 5:16.
He did well yesterday with a less than average start.
Markus Treichel of Austria is in the race in 18th off a similar start. There is definite potential here for Luthi to upset Justin Cripps' day.
This is an old Edward Van Cocker sled. Dutch slider, a lot of success his day.
Drifting away to 26.
Ooh,
that's
not good, that tag out of Dixon. Speed, he's going to be at 112, 111.7, close. Ooh, a couple taps there, though. He's got it, 25th, 7,500, still at 25th. Good speed here, though, coming on.
Had to have a little steer to get onto Gunter Sachs correctly.
81, he's still at 25th, will not make the race. Justin Cripps glitched for another sled. 22nd,
22nd, ahead of Simone Battazzo of Italy. Two to come, and it might be the very final one that is the biggest worry for Justin Cripps in 20th place. Baird Hefty stinging, I'm sure, after not even making the cut in yesterday's two-man. Two to go here in sunny St Moritz. Oskars Melbardis chasing Oskars Kibermanis with Rico Peda within 100th. Justin Cripps in 20th place on the bubble. Will he make the second heat? Kay Humphries, yesterday beaten to the gold medal in the women's race by 100th of a second. Melissa Lottholz did the math, reckons that's just about a foot at 140 odd kilometers an hour. With Cynthia Appiah and Kasia Lee, this is our 31st four-man sled.
Well, they're going to give up all the time at the start, but they're going late. She has good lines down here. She can get some good speed, and look at that, good load, 30, but they're 6,200s back, so that's pretty tough to overcome.
Kaylee, no question, knows how to drive a two-man and a four-man sled. Whether she can find the speed on this 1,700 meters, more than a mile and a quarter of ice, remains to be seen.
Well, she's a minute 5-6 back. 4-man goes a little straighter. I think she's just happy to get another trip down this track, but she lost by 100 yesterday. Couple taps. Well, doesn't matter what she does down here, she'll speed. Ooh, skid there. Good lines there.
Speed at the bottom, top speed 94 miles an hour, and she comes across in 88.
Well, we're down to the last sled.
Yep.
It wasn't like this last week in Winterberg, but the guy in the bubble in Winterberg last week was Rico Peter.
Yep.
He ran into a weather issue there.
Yep.
And it was,
so did Justin Cripps.
Cripps got buried there. So did Chris Spring.
Yeah.
But look at the lines in Horseshoe. Great lines down the track. I mean, There's no doubting her ability to drive, but she tapped there before the take-on to telephone, which is costly for speed.
So, hey, Kaylee Humphries, one and done. And finally, the Swiss fans at the top. There's about 50 fans here for Jan Moulinier, who's the brakeman at 2 behind Beat Hefti. He's joined by Sandro Ferrari and Robin Santoli. Now, Ferrari was the 2-man brakeman with Hefti. These guys are going to need something big, John, to get into the second heat, aren't they?
Yeah, he knows it. He's got an inexperienced crew. And let's listen to the crowd as they rush him down the track here. I think there's a little support here for him. What do you think?
Well, it's not for as much for Rico as for his brakeman, Jan Moulinier. But a 5:14 getaway, that gives him everything he needs.
The 25th best speed. Well, of course, that
have a tie in our top 20, whereas we had 3 yesterday in the 2-man, but it is so close. Again, look behind. Lloyd Cousteau, Stephen Holcomb, Lamin Dean, Benny Meyer.
Rudy Rinaldi.
Well, yes, some great results. And at the moment, Justin Kripp's 20th, but Beat Hefti is going to have to go again.
Young Jung Won, look at that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
All those guys went early, had no chance.
Yeah. Beat Hefti, well, it's shown DNF at the moment. We know he did finish. He can't have been disqualified. He didn't crash, but the timing system can't cope. It's having a little computerized freak out to itself.
It's got a 92-mile-an-hour speed at the bottom, which definitely is a top 10 speed and top 10 result, but...
Well, we're in a holding pattern now here in St Moritz to figure out where we go next and what we do next. Beat Hefti can't let that lie. He's going to have to go again to try and get a place in the second heat. Join us when we come back. Sleds are on the ice at midday. That's 1100 GMT. Join John Morgan, me, Martin Haven, and the whole crew here in St Moritz to find out what's going on.